Welcome back to Crescent City Community College to work on your Master's in the Maasverse. Our current course is focused on Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah Janet Maas. Today, we're chatting chaps 49 through 56.
Warning, while we may be your silly gal pals, we don't recommend listening to this podcast around little ears or ears that may be offended because we say bad words and shitty things.
Calling all book drags and wine sluts, what's better than getting lost in a magical realm with hottie bays and fiddle jams? Getting lost with a glass of the perfect wine without fiddles and blonde men while in sweatpants. That's the entire idea behind Bookish Wine. They're a quarterly subscription box dedicated to the glorious genre of romantasy, and I'm obsessed. Every 3 months, you get a special edition romantasy book and a bespoke artisan-crafted bottle of wine that is custom-made to match the world and theme of the exact book. They do the pairing, so all you have to do is sip, read, and escape into fantasy realms. The wine label is also artist designed to complement the featured book. No AI here. Ready to upgrade your reading nights? Head over to bookishwine.com. That's BOOKISHWINE.com. Use our code Kylie at checkout to receive a signed copy of the December book and start reading, sipping, and subscribing today.
Now relax those shoulders, unclench those jaws, clamp that clam, and let's begin our journey.
Chapter 49. Bryce refused to believe Danica would steal it. The horn. FYI. Sabine came in with logic, though, and told her that she swapped the footage because Danica didn't realize the audio would pick up her disappearing footsteps. Bryce wanted to know why she would take it. Sabitch says it's because she was a brat who wanted to see what she could get away with. So she cleaned up her mess, and she would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for her pesky meddling kids. Unclear why I made the Scooby-Doo reference, but I just think that we should all watch Scooby-Doo more in life. Hunt accused her of sending the demon after them, but she was like, "What? No, I have been waiting here all night for you. Amelie is standing across the street and saw your little show." Sabitch said everything she did was to protect her daughter, but everything Bryce did encouraged the worst in her. Before casually jumping off a building, Sabitch leaves them with this line: "I didn't kill my daughter, but if you jeopardize her legacy, I will kill you."
One thing.
Mhm.
So we went to the Portland Book Festival this last weekend. We literally rode in the Mystery Machine van.
We did. We rode in the minivan.
And we were trying to solve a mystery, as in, what was that? In our trench coats. So,
This all is
Scooby-Doo. I get it.
making so much sense. I watched a lot of Scooby-Doo growing up. Did you? Or no?
Yeah. And
Okay.
Rowan was really into it for a while too. And so
Ellie was.
rushed.
Mhm. Those pesky meddling kids.
So I just want to connect some dots for you. But Sabine is a bitch. She's literally a bitch just to be a bitch because Bryce wouldn't jeopardize Danica's legacy. That's her best friend. She just wants justice for Danica. Sabine just makes me proud.
So Sabine, just for all the listeners out there, just want you to know that I picture her as female Lucius Malfoy. So
When you I think because you wrote that, I think of like the reels of like the hair flipping.
yes,
Yeah, and that's exactly how I picture Sabine. She's a hair flipper for sure.
she hair flipped, says her line, and jumps off the building. Like that is Sabitch for sure.
What an exit though. Big fan. I love it.
We love dramatic exits, and she may be a bitch, but she kind of nailed it on that one.
She gets style points at least.
Oh yeah, for sure. But she's a fucking bitch.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like her.
No, she sucks.
Chapter 50. We learn Hunt jerked off in the shower after the next sniffing flame was put out by the wolf bitch. He gave Bryce some space to process the Danica info and the fact that Sabine isn't the culprit. This whole sitch really put a damper on things. Micah's pissed at Hunt because he was wrong. God forbid this detective duo make a mistake. Back at Griffin Antiquities, I just did this. Back at Griffin Antiquities, like I'm a cheerleader, never was. Sexy Rune Danon shows up, hot as hell, ready to make even a fire sprite wet. He's just there to chit chat and see what's the haps with his sissy. Sibling intuition because he's like, what's wrong? But Hunt channeled Jewel and his intuition and was like, we're waiting on the people that live in the water about demon attack patterns. He asked slutty little Rune Danon if he found more information on the Crystallos and its super swallowing power of magic, that is. But Rune has found nothing, just that the witch spells and the Gorzian stones negate magic. But this was different. That is a mouthful because I can read it, but my brain was not connecting with my mouth.
That happens to us a lot.
A friendly reminder that the Crystallos was made from the blood of the first starborn prince and the essence of the Star Eater himself. But an essence, you say? Rune and I can try and replicate this with his essence. I like Rune.
I know. Oh, we know. We know. I like that you like Rune.
I've always liked Rune, but like he's like moving up on my list during this reread, and I know he'll like skyrocket the next
2 books, yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like book 3 he kind of really shines, right? Or is it 2?
Yeah. I like Rune.
You like?
I do.
You
A little
always
bit
like.
more into Yes.
Yeah.
So we've heard of magic stones that negate magic before in ACOTAR. Highburn is a big fan of them. It's stone delved from deep in their land, capable of nullifying a hay Words are so hard. A high phase powers. These are different though. Gorzian stones of the Dolos Mountain, a rare metal. We find out later in the book that they shimmer amethyst. While not the same, I did just want to point out the similarities in them in case anybody thought that they were the exact same.
Just a little Greek for you. Let me get my Windex out. Dolos means deception and trickery. So those are tricky little mountains over there. It's also interesting, like as Kai was saying, that in ACOTAR they use the Faebane in the form of shackles, which we learned that they did this here to negate the powers of the Fae. And then in Tog, of course, they use Wordstone in either rings or collars to control, but mainly for Valg. So it's definitely a theme in all 3 series, but they seem to be different.
I'm curious of like what similar properties they actually
I
have.
I know. I was like, did they all come from the mountain? Where are they coming from?
Well, seeing as your husband is a rock nerd, like
Yeah, I'll ask.
I want to see them like side by side.
Hey, John, you got some Wordstone up in here?
It's real. It's real.
For real.
So Rune did hear from the Medwitch that he doesn't know is hypaxia yet. She was telling him about drugs, but not for fun drugs. About one that's a synthetic healing magic, and it entered the market a couple years ago. Immediately, Bryce, why are words so fucking hard?
Doesn't matter.
Immediately, Bryce asked if it could repair the horn, but no one has tested it on inanimate objects.
Sorry. I've been doing good with all your fuck ups, but that one was a good one.
I am on the struggle bus. After this one, I will hop off. There's potential there for repairing the horn if only they knew where the darn thing was. Bryce spilled the beans that Danica stole the horn and all they found out. She asked Rune if his star sword could provide assistance, but he shares that the sword has no power without the knife. Bryce leans far back from it, weird, and it sang and sparkled at the tip. All I can think about going forward is calling the bead a precum, a sparkle, a semen sparkle, if you will.
And I will. I will. That's what I will call it from now on. Like, wow, look at your sparkle.
Can you imagine?
I'm going to do it.
Mood killer instantly for at least 5 seconds.
I'm going to call it a sparkle and then I'm going to call it a Princess Sophia and see what happens.
Please report back to the class
I will.
about your sexcapades.
I will, guys. Don't worry. I got your back.
So does John. Okay, so now we get some sword lore. The sword was part of a pair. A long bladed knife was forged from iridium, mined from the same meteorite which fell onto our old world. The world the Fae had left to travel through the Northern Rift and into Midgard. But we lost the knife eons ago. Even the Fae archives have no record of how it might have been lost. But it seems to have been sometime during the First Wars. When knife and sword are reunited, so shall our people be. It's literally carved above the Fate Archives entrance as well.
And just a reminder, we talk about other Maasverse books, but go in order of the CC books, so we can't really dive into this part of it, but like BRB, we know.
We do know, we do have theories, and we will talk about them in later books, but like Blake said, order of the books in case those haven't read those yet. For those who haven't read those yet. Wow.
CC books, yeah, but we do talk about other Maasverse, Avi.
Yes. Let's talk Lahaba for a moment. Bryce mentions that only pure-blooded Fae can get into the library and said sprites couldn't get in, but Lahaba says they would let me in. I am a descendant of Queen Ranthia Draw, who is her 6 times great-grandmother dethroned in the Elemental Wars. She gets cut off as she is saying this. She also gets cut off again, saying our family was cast from favor. And I just think Bryce is an asshole for this specifically because I want to know what Lahaba was going to say.
And before you go on, does this not give you Violet cutting off Tarn all the time when she's talking about descendants? Like, they both do it. Fucking
It's terrible.
FFCs. It's so annoying. We want to know.
But I feel like this is also telling us that the sprites are full-blooded Fae,
Mm.
even if they are a different form, because if she can get in, what is that telling us?
Right.
So Lahaba also says, we stood a chance at earning back our title, but my great-great-grandmother was booted from the Eternal City for a completely false accusation of trying to steal the royal consort from the imposter queen. She'd be thrashing in her ashes if she knew what had become of her last scion, which means descendant, for those who didn't know. I had to Google it. Little more than a bird in a cage. Like, I feel like the story is really interesting, and obviously we don't get more into it in any of these books, but that gave us a lot of information.
I have a lot of questions about the Elemental Wars. Like, I want more info.
Yeah,
That could be.
I am working on our timeline slowly but
Mhm.
surely, just so everything's in order and accurate. There's the other thing of like, why give us a name? We know that she's the Queen of Embers. There just seems to be something missing here. Like Bryce always cutting Lahaba off before we can get anything juicy from her. I feel like there's more, maybe not necessarily to the fire sprites, but just to those elemental wars in this whole story.
And yeah, and even like Maasverse story.
Yes, that's what I mean. The whole mass story, like the way that these are all going to connect.
I was with you. I just want to mention that when she calls herself the descendant of the queen, Bryce's quip back to her was, yeah, and I'm the 7th Asteri. I just thought it was interesting line, like a choice that's what would come about. And then it makes you wonder, Queen of Embers, why would Sarah choose Bryce's mom's name to be Ember?
Especially in the same
Yeah.
book. That was a choice, a very strategic choice. Don't know why, but she chose that.
She chose it, and it was intentional. And I want to know why.
So we're just making notes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I did this.
How we would make those notes.
I guess, yeah, but I'm not left-handed. After the history lesson with Lahaba, she mentioned how her great-grandma fought with Hunt in the war. He got a little emo. He's a little sensitive that he led a lot of people into battle that died and then others got enslaved. He's getting into his feels when Arun is the angelic voice of reason and tells Hunt that Shahar led him. Hunt looked to Bryce for comfort. They see each other. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
Then Lahaba asks if Rune has ever been to the Fae archives in Avalon. They're grander than what was brought over here. But Rune says no, and that the Fae on the Misty Island are even less welcoming than the ones here. Flynn calls Rune to whisk him away for some off shit. There was a line in this story. There's a lot of those.
There's one, though.
So Bryce said he was alive, as in the Thottim King. He was alive the last time a starborn prince appeared, you know. You ever ask what happened to him? Why he died before he made the drop? And Maroon was like, don't be stupid. That was an accident during his ordeal. We have no name, but this is such a suspicious incident. Who is this starborn prince and why didn't we get a name? The amount of details left out unintentionally is absolutely killing me.
And it is one of those, I mean, it's just Sarah in general. Like, you can skim past all these little nuggets of info and still enjoy the story. Like, you're good. You don't have to know everything, but if you want it, it is there. There's a lot for you to like ponder about and try to connect.
We don't even bring up all of them just
No.
because it's literally so many ones that are relevant. Yes,
Mhm.
but just the foreshadowing is so crazy. But also for those, if you ever Google who this Starborn Prince is, the internet will tell you it was Cormac. It's wrong. It's like completely off. So just don't believe the internet on this one.
AI specifically.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't trust AI anyway.
No, they suck
And it's just really wrong.
all the time.
After Rune left, Bryce got an otter mail from the sexiest mermaid, Therian. What he sent was not sexy. It was unsolved mystery photos, a body from a Sobek's lair. A Sobek is a 25-foot and nearly 3,000 pounds of scale-covered muscle. They were among the worst of the apex predators who prowled the river, mean, strong, with teeth that could snap you in two. A full-grown male Sobek could make most veneer back away. Bite marks on the body aren't consistent with Sobek's teeth, though. The wounds look more like a Crystallos attack, and the body lined up with when they were attacked, as in Bryce and Hut. I just wanted to share the details of it because that's how you get to the teeth marks. Fun fact about the House of Many Waters people. Most of those in the House of Many Waters could sense what flowed in someone's body, illnesses and weaknesses, and apparently venom. So Therian could like sense it. What a unique talent.
I cannot wait to hear more about the House of Many Waters people.
I have a really hard time saying that. It just makes me laugh. House of Many Waters people.
House of Many Waters to me sounds like it could be like a Thrasher type movie. The House of Many
I was
Waters.
gonna say like a
Yeah.
horror movie.
Yeah. It would make you never want to go in the water again. You know,
As
like a
we're
Jaws.
literally talking about a monster in the water.
Mm-hmm. You know, you know what I mean?
So I guess it's fitting.
Yeah. So
All right.
cool.
I'm on board now, I guess.
Okay, cool.
Turns out more bodies matched up with the night Danica died and 5 this month. But then Bryce says that Crystallos is not the creature that killed Danica because her and the pack were in piles and none had venom in their systems. The wounds are definitely not the same if that's the case. They're trying to figure out if there's yet another demon on the loose. But of course, Bryce has an idea because she is a smart gal.
She's a real thinker, that one.
Like I said, she definitely has like that Aelin vibe of always planning ahead.
Little mastermind.
Swifties, always.
Can't help it.
Do you think Bryce would like Taylor Swift?
Yeah, I do. Because Bryce is emotional and she is sensitive in her own way. It's just all of a front a little bit. So I think she would. She'd be like, Taylor sees me, but she wouldn't like openly listen to Taylor unless it's like bad girl Taylor.
That's fair. I agree. I'm on board with
But
that.
like she might cry to All Too Well in her apartment occasionally.
Nobody can know.
No. Mm-mm. I mean, Ada Selzer never let people see you cry. Spoiler. Chapter 51. So, Bryce was summoning a demon. Hunt, not happy about it. Bryce was like, seriously, don't worry about it. I know the guy. The obsidian salt will hold him. Oh boy. Here we go.
That is a mouthful.
Uh-huh. Okay. The temp in the room started rapidly dropping. A humanoid male appeared thumping with dark power. Was it thumping or thumbing? Thrumming. Thrumming?
Thrumming.
It was thrumming, but I think spell check got me on that one. Not
I
thumping.
enjoy thumping though.
I would thump Adis. He's blonde.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, would you?
Maybe just for shits and gigs. As I was saying, He was thumping with dark power. Bryce told Hunt it was Adis, the Prince of Chasm, who apparently was a pretty boy. Slender, pale skin, blonde hair that fell to his shoulders, blue opal eyes. Adis seemed surprised to see Bryce. By the way, Adis was head bitch of the 5th level of hell, the Chasm. He yielded to 2 others, the Prince of Abyss, and the 7th and mightiest, the Prince of the Pit, the Star Eater. Seriously, what a good name. He was basically a Voldemort on this side of the rift because the Prince of the Pit became the first and only being to ever kill an Asteri, the 7th Holy Star, Sirius. Look at another fucking Harry Potter reference, the Wolf Star.
So at one point, can we call Hunt a Star Eater?
Mm-hmm.
Good on him.
Good for him. We love this for him.
I appreciate that the demons have unholy numbers and they basically have social security numbers. I love it. Identity theft is not a joke.
Jim. Just had to add it. So, chasm in the Bible represents a permanent, uncrossable divide, particularly the separation between the saved and the damned after death. In Greek, it's translated to abyss, which signifies deep, bottomless void and can symbolize chaos and divine judgment. Sirius, also known as the dog star, is the brightest star in the sky. And a wolf star is a rare and massive and energetic stars with unusual spectra and short lifespans. So really, short lifespan. This bitch was going to die anyways.
Sirius did have that dog in her, though.
She got that dog in her for life.
Do we make an astrology episode with all these connections for the stars?
We could do an astrology episode and we can do like a Greek mythology episode for sure.
I feel like that would be fun. So tell us if you guys want that.
Just like, like probably 25-minute episode of going through it all.
Yeah,
We did
even
all the
we're an
research.
educational podcast.
We sure are.
I do have a whiteboard.
You do. Mm-hmm.
I want to point out, like you did say, what Adis looks like. He's blonde with blue eyes like opals, and his name just makes me think of Adian. And his blonde hair with his blue eyes. And granted, he has a yellow or golden in the center. I don't think it's connected, but this is just where my brain went. Like the similarities are there.
Just want to say this because I haven't in a while publicly. Fuck Adian,
Not, I want to fuck Adian,
No.
just.
2 very separate and different things. So just wanted to. Do I think Adian would be good in bed? Yeah, but not for me. Thanks.
The Wolf of the North.
The wolf.
Interesting connection that we just made.
I kind of forgot that was his
Name.
Mm-hmm. Well, I try to
His
forget
name.
most things about him. So
But you can't because, I
No.
mean, he is related to Aelin, and so there's
know.
got to be something, like, okay about him. Something.
yeah, being related to Aelin.
It's his blood, but not him.
He's got pretty eyes.
Yes. I'm sure he's a hottie.
No, he is a hottie. Everyone says he's a hottie. I just don't care.
Sarah would never write a non-hottie.
No, she's not writing uggos in here. Come on. Bryce is like, hey, you appeared as a cat last time. He's like, well, you were very young and sad. She's like, I was 13. Calm down. So let's talk about you, boo-boo. You and your friends seem to be getting restless in the dark. And he's like, nay, nay. Bryce asks him who's summoning the Crystallis demon and what killed Danica. Adis is an ass and replies, ah, yes, we heard of that. How Danica screamed as she was shredded apart. But no, I don't know what demon did it, despite what mythologies your peeps say. I don't know the 411 about every being in hell. Can I just say about the whole Danica thing and her screaming and begging not to die? Like, this is such a shame that this book always brings up. Who the fuck wouldn't do that? Like, I'm like, shut up, bitch.
Well, there's your answer.
Yeah, that's true. She cut right to the chase, asking him if he knew who, and he told her info is not free. Adis just now notices Hunt and is like, dude, who are you? And then he says, a fallen warrior with the power of, what are you doing with the black crown around your brow? Hunt had never heard this term. Adis goes on and says that the seven princes don't have interest in their realm, and Hunt is like, yeah, right, dude. I have to track down all the shit you let loose from the Northern Rift. And then Adis gives us some good stuff. You do realize that it might not be my people. The Northern Rift opens to other places, other realms, yes, but other planets as well. What is hell but a distant planet bound to yours by a ripple in space and time? Hunt is like, what? Hell's a planet? He's like, yeah, it's a real place, dude. Your kind, fallen, were made in Midgard by the Steri, but the Fae, the Shifters, and many others come from their own worlds. The universe is massive. Some believe it has no end, or that our universe might be one in a multitude as bountiful as the stars in the sky or the sand on a beach. There's a lot to unpack.
I love that Sarah like credited herself. It's massive. It's definitely what she was
What
going.
if she wrote double A's in it?
I would die.
So the Dark Crown part is interesting. There are more examples later in this particular series of Dark Crowns, but I wanted to look in the Maasverse, and Reese has a crown that was dark and shaped like a garland of feathers. Also, Crown of Midnight, anyone?
I love that you're tying it to Throne of Glass because, like, I just mentioned Adian and his blue opal eyes. They narrowed to slits and then simmered like the hottest flames. Like, and then, he said, what are you doing with the black crown? But the blue to the fire, and it's just like giving the Aelin bloodline connection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, but it's just, that's what it's giving.
That's the vibe it gives you. Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's interesting that it said the Northern Rift opens to other places, other realms, yes, but other planets as well.
Mm-hmm. It's
How
just another thing about the multiverse that we just keep talking about.
Well, it says hell is a distant planet bound to yours by a ripple in time and space, and that the universe mass, some believe it has no end, and that our universe might be one in a multitude. A multitude, guys, as
Mm-hmm.
bountiful as the stars in the sky or the sand on a beach. Like, this is so controversial. Somehow people do not believe that there can be like a multiverse situation, but this isn't the only place that it is said that there can be, because I just sent it to you the other day from ACOTAR.
Right. And I am getting yelled at online for the theory. No, but most people are fine. But there's definitely some like, read the third book. And I get it, guys. But once again, a ripple in not just space, but in time. Time and multiverse. Just
Times of what?
time is a rift. And wait, what do people come through? Just want to know, Kai, what is that called? The Northern what?
Rift, I believe it is.
Oh, yes. 10 points for Gryffindor. Good job.
And so we are aligned that obviously like ACOTAR and Crescent City are different planets. But this, I feel like, truly aligns with it's on top of the Throne of Glass world.
Mm-hmm. And even with ACOTAR, there's still a lot that we don't know. There's a lot of space and land that we don't know of yet. So it could still be the same planet, but different multiverse, but stacked on top of each other. We just really don't know. A lot of the times we are connecting TOG because it's more probable and we have a lot more evidence for it. But that doesn't mean that ACOTAR couldn't possibly be it. We just don't have the information yet.
There's more on this, and we will definitely get into it more, but we want you guys to know that a multiverse situation is truly possible. Just let it happen, guys.
She's not dropping all these hints with like Meryl's research and like for no reason. It's not like, no, it's just a Northern Rift where people come through. Like, no, she's talking about time on purpose. And time is a motherfucking rift.
Time's a rift.
Time's a rift. And Bryce is like, stop stalling. You aren't rattling the Northern Rift. He was like, maybe the lesser princes levels 1 through 4, those of us in the true dark have no need or interest in sunshine. But even they did not send the Crystallos. Our plans do not involve such things. What are your plans? And is like, your kind wanted to live here. I was reading it as like I fucked up and it was supposed to be love her. I'm like, What? Okay. Hunt is like, I mean, you're kind one to live here. And Ada says, yeah, the Stereo are fucking liars. We didn't. And he looks to Bryce and says, what blinds an oracle? And she's like, what cat visits an oracle? And Adis knows their temp starts to drop, so he's going to skedaddle. Bryce is like, please just tell me what killed Danica. He tells her to run the test again and find what is in between. As Adis starts to fade, Bryce tells him thank you for that day. The prince tells her to make the drop and find him when she's done. The oracle did not see, but I did. Another great dramatic exit.
She loves them as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting that we don't know much more on the lesser princes. For everyone who has theories, we do as well, but we are not there in the books. So don't come to us with like, we have our theories. Don't worry, guys. They're there.
Or, I mean, you can come to us in the DMs for sure.
Yes.
You can chit chat about it, but obviously we're not doing that on the pod.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Hunt is like, fuck you for the surprise, Bryce. And she's like, no, I knew he wouldn't hurt me or anyone with me. She goes on to explain their lore. When things went badly with the Oracle and Biodad, she was crying on the bench and a white cat with unnatural blue eyes came over to her. Jessica told her princes are able to sneak through cracks in either rift, taking the form of a common animal. But then they are confined to those forms and can't use their normal power. But basically, he was nice to her, and that's why she felt safe to summon him. So she called Declan and said they were tipped to run the test again. What should they look out for? He says a scent diagnostic. And did you run the common one or the murmur? Mirror? What's it? Murmur? Miramax? What is it?
I think murmur.
Run that murmur one. Hunt tells them that no one did the murmur test, and Deck is like, well, it's Faytech, but someone should have asked. Rune comes on the line and says direct orders were given not to pursue those channels. Bryce was like, the Autumn King is a fucking prick. You know that? And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go tell him that myself. And then she starts running out of her apartment.
Dramatic exit yet again. She is the drama.
She is the drama, but we love her for it.
Chapter 52. Bryce hauled ass to the bootleg spring court, aka Five Roses, to dear old dad's and was stopped by four fade dick faces because she didn't have an appointment. They kept telling her no and even Hunt no until Rune swung his star sword and told them to stand down. Bryce, pissed that the Autumn King stayed out of the drama. Bryce is not impressed with anything her hot brother has to say and takes off. Bryce didn't head home though. She headed to another bar. Leave. Can I say how clever the name is for this bar? Leave is a river in Hades whose water causes drinkers to forget their past. It's fucking clever.
It's very clever. I love it.
I love it. I really do just pick random words to Google.
Me too. I'm like, why am I doing this? Sometimes it checks out. I don't always put them in here, but I'm like, nice. But that one's really smart.
Yeah, like this little condition, I was like, I like this. Bryce had some whiskey and was no longer participating in Sober October when some purple tonic for her leg was set next to her by Hunt. He even made sure it was sweet so she would drink it. She's getting a little sassy and says, weren't you going to tell me your heartbreaking story about your amazing girlfriend? What would she think about the way you manhandled me and practically devoured my neck the other night? That neck sniffing. So Hunt says he'll see her at home and left. Bryce was just being a bitch and definitely regretted saying those words. Bryce comes back with some groceries and her tail between her legs and then begins making dinner. Hunt is being a dick, rightfully so, and said she was trying to make him dinner. You know, I'm in the middle of an ACOTAR reread, and this just makes me think of the cabin scene with Farah and Reese, Soup and Court of Mist and Fury. Obviously, like, not the same at all, but that's just where my mind goes.
And to be honest with you, I would have been meaner if I was Hunt, because I don't even think he was that much of a dick when he was like, and he forgave her very quickly. I would have been mean because she was a fucking bitch. But like, you know, I get it.
She brought up his dead lover.
Yeah, it was pretty rude.
There was no kindness in that.
No kindness and just pushing him away.
she felt bad immediately, at least, like,
Yeah, she
as she
did.
should.
Yeah, she got out of there and started making plans to be nice, but still, she was a little biscuit.
We're about to well, not even fully info dump. There's just a lot that happens in this chapter with not a lot to elaborate on.
Mhm.
So it turns out Bryce left shortly after Hunt did and went to her storage unit for some of Danica's stuff. She told Hunt that she was an asshole and then told him she's been a hot mess for a while. She sees her friends as talented, and then there is her, a glorified secretary that can't dance because she was deemed too clunky. Specifically, that her ass could be used as an aerial port landing pad. Good for her, though.
Love that for her.
And Hunt is like, your ass is perfect. The room is getting hotter. They talk about life planning a bit when Bryce actually apologizes, and then Hunt asks about the photo of her and Danica. The lore. Danica's senior thesis was on illegal animal trade and uncovered a real smuggling ring, but no one in the Ox or 33rd would assist. So Bryce and Danica tried to free the animals, and it did not go well. They were chased on a motorcycle and then crashed. Danica even got shot twice. I don't know why I said that so excitedly.
With like a shrug at the end. She got shot twice.
No big deal.
Whoopsie!
And asked if she killed them, and she said the ones who shot Danica, she took care of them. Did not elaborate more. Hunt was trying to reconcile the party princess from the animal lover Bryce was describing. Bryce asked why he never stopped fighting the halo and the slave tattoo, but it appears Hunt is in the court of dreams because he says that they were right, and that they are still right. She asked if he would do it all over again. Hunt said if he wouldn't have done that, he would have just been a slave for someone else with his sick lightning tricks. He has a long-winded way of saying yes, he would.
Mhm.
Bryce then makes an offhanded comment about if she makes the drop and how she would need an anchor. Hunt runs through a list of people that could be an anchor for her. She says, sorry you lost your friends. And he says, sorry you lost your one friend. What's wrong with me when I read this? She then tells Hunt how Danica was truly the best gal pal one could have had, and she is still very sad. A light went out inside of her the day that Danica died. Hunt gives her a great pep talk, and the mood is on the up. She calls out how Hunt said home earlier and then invites him to live with her full time. She hands him a meal, and he accepts her apology. Honestly, I think it was like, you can live here. And then he's like, cool, I forgive you. I think that was what sold it to him.
Yeah.
When Bryce goes into her room, there is a cat on her dresser. Eyes like the sky before dawn, which no, that's morning, dusk.
I want you to know
Because,
that
she had her dusk nails.
I literally Googled dawn and dusk because I was like, wait, what? Mhm.
I have to remind myself from dawn till dusk,
Till
and then I
dusk.
got it.
Yep. Yeah. Mhm.
Dusk till dawn. Dusk till dawn, if I could get
There
it
you
right.
go.
I still
There
didn't
you
get it
go. You
right.
got it. It's like, is that right?
So I the sky before dawn pinned her to the spot and said without saying, what wines an oracle? They're speaking in riddles here. And then she says, he'll kill me if he knows. So the cat says, make the drop, then come find me so that they can finish this. We obviously know that this cat is Adis and that she's referring to her star power, but his so we can finish this is so ominous.
Mm-hmm. What are we finishing? Hmm?
They're going to make babies. They're going to make little hell babies.
I
They're
I
going
think
to make the seventh a Suri.
I think hell babies exist. So. Chapter 53, you know? So today was gonna suck. It was raining. It was pouring, but unfortunately Bryce was not whoring. Hunt tried to force feed Bryce, but she wasn't having it. He told her it's okay to be nervous. They were going to test Danica's clothes with their fancy pants Faye technology. Bryce gave in and started eating, but first had snapped some pics off of Athy's phone. Which, can I say, that little thing, their little picture thing, is so adorbs. It's heartwarming. They're just like falling in love.
The first time I read it, I was like, this is so stupid. But now I'm like, it's cute.
It's cute. It really proves who you were when reading this series for the first time. In that mindset. I get it, though. I get the mindset. Hunt dropped off the clothes for the mimer. Mimer. Tech and a list of demons he really hopes it isn't. All ancient and terrible. Many of them were nightmares that prowled bedtime stories and would be catastrophic if they entered Midgard. He had faced 2 before and barely made it out through the encounters.
I just want to point out that the technology is called Mimir. And do you know what it means?
No, please tell me.
Mimir. So it is a figure in Norse mythology renowned for his knowledge and wisdom, who was beheaded during the Aesir Vanir War. The Vanir War, you say? The Vanir War was a conflict between 2 groups of deities, words are hard, and ultimately resulted in the unification of the Aesir and the Vanir into a single pantheon. The war is an important event in Norse mythology, and the implications for the potential historicity surrounding accounts of the war are a matter of scholarly debate and discourse. And it just sounds really fucking similar to the Asteri versus the humans.
Sure does. That is a good nugget. We love it. We love to do it. Going back to the part where Hunt made the list of the demons that he hopes that it wasn't, he said that, they were all ancient and terrible. So let's start with there. So when I thought of ancient and terrible, immediately these are kind of the things that went in my brain. We have Amren, tiny ancient one from ACOTAR. Then she has that quote. She said, when all the ancient players have returned, it wasn't a coincidence. Inmates at the prison, ancient and cruel. The Weaver, ancient wicked creature. And the Bone Carver, ancient death god. So now let's go to the part where he said, many of them were nightmares that prowled bedtime stories. Okay. Ding, 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 ding in my head. I just don't feel like it was coincidental. Bryaxis, the face of nightmares, is how he's described. Amren, when Lucian's talking, a bedtime story they told us as younglings to make us behave. Amren, who would drink my blood and carry me to where? Hell, if you acted out of line. And yes, we'll get back to this hell line later, but I just don't think it was a coincidence. And the fact that Hunt has faced 2 of them before.
It's interesting. Once again, you bring up the line of Amren saying when all the ancient players have returned. And then you have Adis saying, come find me so that they can finish this. All these ancient references is just, they're really adding up.
And if you even go back to like Tog, when does shit start happening? When all the ancient players start returning. So this is clearly, I believe, prediction. We will get a 3-way between Tog, ACOTAR, and Crescent City. And the ancient players will be returning, and they need all 3 to defeat them. Boom. Prediction.
I think there will be witch queens and queens amongst them.
Lots of queens. They love a queen in the Maasverse. Hunt got a call later from Vic, telling him it would take a while longer for the test. He went to text Bryce about it, and she had changed her contact info in his phone to Bryce is a queen. Speaking of queens, cuties. That night, they watched trash TV and maybe flirted. The next morning, Hunt got a call from the pegging angel himself, and he demanded he come to his office alone. I'm sorry, Bryce.
I love that you wrote that because I have a really great opener.
Do you?
In my next chapter.
Is it right after this? If you missed our episode, I think it was it last week's episode?
Yes.
Kai asked
so
me,
chapters 40 through 48.
Yeah. Kai had asked me, who do you think was most likely to get pegged? And at the same time, we both were like, Micah. So we just think Micah might be into pegging. And no shame, but with his Crocs dangling, maybe.
Shaming the Crocs, not the pegging.
Not the pegging. Do your thing.
They were watching a show of hot young Vanir working at a beach club in the Coronal Islands. A crown, yet again, of islands. We need to cross-reference the other books to see if there's like anything similar with like islands. Because once
Mhm.
again, she's referencing places, no clue where they are.
These incomplete maps are gonna be the death of us in all 3 series.
Especially as somebody who loves maps, it's killing me.
You really are a map whore in a good way.
Chapter 54. Voted most likely to get into pegging in high school, Micah called Hunt in just to yell at him since Sabine yelled at him first, then gave Hunt another murder mission after he threatened to trade him. Once again, big into Micah. I'm not into Micah pegging.
You're a
we
big Micah
just,
Pegging fan.
we reference it a lot.
Mhm.
Hunt was checking out mentally when Bryce texted him to check in and hang out, but he basically sent her a K period, so immediately she knew something was wrong. She kept typing out different messages, but settled on responding, okay. Then Hunt left her on red. These are both millennial nightmares. Finally, she checked in with hottie Naomi, but she also said he was A-okay. She texted him to call her and that she was worried, but still no response. At 11, she called her sexy brother, but of course, that's when Hunt decided to come home. Rune was, re- Rune was ready to drop everything, but she hung up on him. Hunt didn't say a word, just straight to the trauma shower. We learned from my sister the trauma response.
Mhm. Shout out to our sister. Our.
So Bryce wants to be close to Rune, but goddamn, suffering is a choice, and she really does choose to suffer. That was her first call, and I know Juniper is her best friend. Well, that's a lie. It wouldn't make sense to call her because she spends more time with Rune anyway. And, once again, suffering's a choice. It's a little trickle down therapy for you guys. The way that Rune was willing to just drop everything and get Deck and Flynn on it right away. Like, I love him. Big heart, big dick. I'm assuming.
Totally. This is giving the Michael Squat? The Michael Squat quote. Ideas for a movie. Big heart, even bigger butt. Which is funny because I made that meme about Bryce like 8 months ago. So full circle.
Hunt was a sad boy, even though he was killing drug lords. Has Dare taught us nothing? He was getting drugs off the street, although he did have to go hard with how he 86 them. This was what he thought about in his Mordor shower. After an hour, Bryce checked in on him and she lowered the temperature and got in with him and just took care of him. Can we talk about how SJM made soap emotional? Like, I shouldn't be getting emotional over fucking soap twice in my life. Well, more than that. So, just to further your point, Blake, lavender came from just outside the walls of Antica in Throne of Glass. Going with the theory that Lunathion is where the southern continent would be in Throne of Glass, Bryce would easily have access to lavender then. Like, look at me tying in fucking soap to the southern continent theory.
Much appreciated.
Bryce couldn't explain why she did it and then went into cleaning him. Everything Bryce does for him in this chapter is like so sweet. They're just like raw moments, and I love watching her walls come down.
It's obvious that these two have such a pull towards each other. And the washing hair, taking care of each other trope honestly always gets me. It's just always so wholesome, sometimes spicy, but it's wholesome at the same time.
When a guy washes a girl's hair after they've just gone through something traumatic, it's like really gets you.
It really does.
Bryce cleans Hunt and tells him he looks how she feels every day. She's not his wiener cleaner, so she leaves that for him. She does clean his wings, a very big deal since you don't touch their wings. Don't worry, she's checking out his slutty muscles while cleansing him. They get out of the shower and she gets into bed with him after putting on just his shirt. She ran her fingers through his hair until he fell asleep.
Wiener cleaner?
I love my own joke.
I mean, it's good.
The sheets were warm and smelled of him. Rain-kissed cedar. You know what scents like this mean in these books. Also, I want to say that Hunt smells fucking delicious. Like, I want that as a candle. Big candle whore.
Mm-hmm.
He says that Bryce smells like paradise, home, and eternity. Exactly where he was meant to be. Like, I love them. Who is this girl that I see staring straight back at me?
Back at you.
When Bryce is coaxing Hunt to sleep, she thinks, A friend looking for any sort of reassuring contact to remind him that he is a living being, a good person, no matter what they made him do. And I just can't help how much I have fallen in love with these characters. They're in deep need of therapy, both of them, but refuse to admit to themselves that they are good people. And I feel like they're both really relatable. I feel like now that I've gone through and done a lot of processing in therapy, these characters are acceptable and I can love them openly. I've come a long way.
You're loving out loud.
But yeah, this is a change for me. I feel like I'm coming out and we've gone what a sentence. Coming out with my love for Hunt and Bryce. For Brunt.
For Brunt.
My
We
Brunt
love a
love.
Brunt.
I love Brunt. But I will be singing Everyone Makes Mistakes when Hunt fucks up.
And pre-warn, I will be a Hunt apologist in a couple chapters, and I'm not going to apologize for it. So just know I will be apologizing for this man quickly, and I don't care.
I feel like you're getting more comfortable with like being open with me about like how hot Hunt is.
Hunt is fucking hot. Hunt is hot.
I know. I literally sent you a photo yesterday and I was like, okay.
I mean, I redid my book boyfriends list. Go check it on the Instagrams. And Hunt is on it in my top 10. He's before any Togmen.
I don't think you would have put him. I don't think you would have put him on there if I wouldn't have come to light. I think you would have been like, I don't want to piss Kylie off by putting this man on this list.
Possibly. Honestly. Didn't want the wrath of Kylie on my book boyfriend list. And also, this deep dive would have been brutal listening to you hate on Hunt for 3 books.
I would have never chosen this book.
Yeah. So you've come a long way.
A long way. It was 3:30 in the morning. Bryce was asleep, so we carried her into her own bed. He saw Bryce's phone light up when he was in the living area. He glanced and saw Rune was blowing up her phone. His last message saying, I'm glad you called me tonight. I know things are fucked up between us, and I know a lot of that is my fault, but if you ever need me, I'm here. Anytime at all, Bryce. And then Hunt went back to sleep. I do love Rune way more than Hunt yet again. Like, he's so good and doing everything he can to not be overbearing, but like be there for Bryce. He's a good man. Fictional.
Yes. I'm still Hunt over Rune, but like, he's a good brother. Yeah, he fucked up a long time ago, but like, Bryce is the one that's making this still go on. Suffering is a choice. Chapter 55. Bryce woke in her bed. Hunty Boy must have moved her. As she made her coffee, she couldn't help but think about Ruin's messages and how he would drop everything to help her. She knew that, but tried to forget it after their big blow up all of those years ago. She also knew that she shut him out of her life out of fear of getting hurt by him and his power. Truly, get this girl a therapist, and I say that with all the love. Juniper started texting her big mad that Bryce didn't show up to the dance class.
I understand why Juniper was so upset, but that really isn't fair for her to be mad at Bryce because Bryce was non-committal when she responded to her about it. But I do think Bryce should have been more straightforward. Like, communication is hard for everyone, literally everyone in this fucking book, except for Rune Dannon. Rune can communicate.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. Juniper's reaction doesn't really make sense. Like, you're pushing on her to dance when she's still not ready for it. And then she's not saying, yes, I'm going to be there, but then you're mad that she didn't show up. Like, calm down.
This is why she called Rune first and not Juniper.
Mm-hmm. Hunt came out to the living room. Bryce was wearing one of his shirts, and no, she wasn't wearing any underwear underneath. And yeah, he definitely knew. He tells her he likes seeing her in a shirt. He starts making first breakfast, and he thanks Bryce for what she did last night. She tells him not to mention it, and this fucker literally leans over and kisses her on the fucking cheek. And now I'm swooning. Apparently, Bryce was too, because she wanted to climb him like a tree. And well, Hunt could smell that. He asked her in a gravelly voice, what are you thinking about? And she tells him a sample sale, Avi, and he doesn't believe her, and his eyes darken and he stares at her. Her knits went all Rachel Green and well, he noticed. They had some very sexually charged talk about clothing sales. And right before they act on it, burning smoke filled the fucking air because Hunt burnt the eggs.
The sexual tension's fucking killing me. Like, good on SJM for not making our female main characters give it up in the first book, but I would like some fucking.
They want some fucking. Give them fucking. They need sexual healing, okay? She walked to work with Hunt flying overhead, and she got a call from bitch boss, Jessica, with her demanding she opens the back door. Once inside, Lahaba is absolutely hating the massive dimly lit tank with a knock, which was a disgusting sea creature that existed in the icy seas of the north, mostly near Pangaea. Lahaba truly fucking hated this thing. He's evil. She tried calling Jessica to get rid of it, but she wasn't having any of it. Maasverse time. Lahaba tells us that Nox love humans. They drag swimmers under the surface of ponds and lakes and drown them, slowly feeding on their corpse for days. When she said this, my brain instantly went to, in A Court of Silver Flames, Nesta talks about how she learned to swim. Her mother made her. She had watched her cousin be murdered by fairies, and she saw her dragged into the river. Coincidence? I think not.
I love a good visual. So too bad the Nox has a head like an anglerfish. They're more than 8 feet long. They might have been a hellish twin to a mer male, but instead of humanoid features, they presented with a jutting lower jaw with a too wide lipless mouth full of needle-thin teeth with its overlarge eyes that were milky, like some of the fishes in the deep. Its tail was mostly translucent, bony, and sharp, and above it, a warped, muscled torso. Like a muscle torso? Is it like a butter face? Is it a body hottie?
There's nothing wrong with being a butterface.
I wonder what magic it has without the SPQM tattoo. Because those are used to retain them.
Yeah.
We'll never know, but I'm just curious.
Hunt tells her she needs to see a med witch for the leg. She told him she's fine. Bryce was too busy obsessing over the fact they were at a dead end in the case. So many things unanswered. Hunt was kind of acting suspicious. We all know he was semi-turned on all day. He got a text from Vic telling him to meet at Moonen and Hugin in 15. I butchered that. Bryce was on the phone with her mom, and apparently they were going to do a video chat at 7 to meet. Once in the bar, Vic hands them the file that tells them they found small bits of something synthetic. It was also on Maximus Tertian's clothes. Vic tells him it's some type of drug called synth. Bryce whips her head around and said Rune had mentioned a drug that was a synthetic healing compound that could heal ... It may just be the same one. Bryce calls Rune and asks about it. He tells her that the Med Witch sent over research a few days ago. A lot of it had been redacted by Redner Industries. While going through the research, Rune notices the obsidian salt is listed as one of the ingredients. Bryce wonders if the synth could be used to summon a demon. Bryce wants to go to the meat market and investigate. Hunt wants to wait until tomorrow. Talk to her parents tonight and then go tomorrow. She shouldn't take that for granted. So that turns into some Hunt lore. He never knew who his father was. His mother was a low-ranking angel who cleaned houses of the more powerful angels. She worked day and night, and when he was a soldier, he sent money back to her. People heard, broke into her house, and killed and took all her money. No one cared she was killed, but she was everything to Hunt. He made the drop and joined Shahar's cause after that. He battled on Mount Hermon in her memory. After getting his background, she agrees investigating can wait, and they will call her parents. They cleaned the apartment top to bottom. Ember was a real dandy tanner when it came to her cleaning. They snapped pictures of the cute little domestic life, and he was going to miss this when he had to go back to the 33rd. She asked him if she should open a bottle of wine, and of course, Ember Quinlan hears that.
How terrifying to meet the parents.
Also, Ember makes me laugh. We'll talk about it here, but she's just a siller.
Chapter 56. So Bryce's mom is a stunner. Good for her. She opens with, "You must be Athy." And Randall, Bryce's dad, asks if he's her sort of roommate. Hunt tells him that he's Alphalar. Hunt Athalar. And he's like, "Girl, what? When were you going to tell us this fun fact?" Drift boat. And she's like, and she is just so cool and tells him he's not as cool as you think. They reminisce about war shit for a minute, about a place in Meridian, wherever that is. Two things. Do you think Randall is a hottie?
The
Because I
answer,
don't.
you don't think he's hot?
No, I don't know. She doesn't describe him as a hottie. Bryce's mom, Ember, is a stunner, but doesn't say anything about his looks.
Well, I mean, I think he's just, I see him as like masculine. The whole, I don't like men with long hair. So he has a braid and it's long and it's kind of giving me like Twilight type situation. So not for me.
Maybe Ember pegs him and that's like her leash.
Yes, yes. I just want to mention thank you for Bookish Wine for sponsoring us in this episode.
Thank you so much. That is bookishwine.com, code Blakely Kylie. Link is in our bio.
So don't try doing code pegging. It does not work.
That is not our code. The other thing is, I wanted to let you know that I have it highlighted in the book when she says, "He's not as cool as you think, Dad." And my note from my Kindle, all it says is LOL.
Good note. Accurate.
But also, I don't know why I said but also, as if like,
This is a point.
this is not a point. It's just a detail that I love. Bryce squeezed his fingers, leaving a trail of buttery flakes. It's cute, but just it makes me laugh.
John would lose his shit because that is like his biggest gripe in life is greasy fingers. Like he cannot handle it. So this would disgust him. But Hunt doesn't seem to mind the buttery flakes.
As someone that also hates greasy fingers, the amount of hand sanitizer I keep with me to prevent that.
But you don't want buttery flakes trailing on you.
No,
No, not
I'm
for you.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce is playing with her pendant when her mom asks why Athy is her roomie. Bryce is unserious in her answer, which pisses her mom off because that's just so Bryce. Ember thought she had a gotcha moment with Bryce when she asked her if Hunt knew about JJ, but he was real suave here and said he and Jelly Jubilee were well acquainted. They give her parents the lowdown light on why Hunt is there, making it sound less dangerous, of course, and that is why they cannot visit. Bryce switches gears to pottery because it gets a little heated when she eyes his halo crown. They try to convince Bryce to move back home, no dice. Then Hunt pulls a very risky move. He tells on her to her mom about her leg still aching and not doing shit about it. But he really takes it to the next level when he tells her mom, "I think the wound still has venom lingering from the demon who attacked her. If she doesn't get it checked out before the drop, she'll be in pain for centuries." Her mom was ready to get a medwitch online, but Bryce wraps up the call. But then her mom calls 2 minutes later, calling Micah Domitus a monster. True, girly. Bryce defends Hunt to her mom since her mom has PTSD from the Thottam King's crazy ass. They get into it about just because Danica died doesn't mean you need to suffer too. And they also get into it about the Medwitch. And then Bryce wraps it up. That quote about just because Danica died doesn't mean you need to suffer too. This really did hit too hard since suffering was such a hot topic in therapy for me. Once again, that acceptance really made this a great line.
Mhm.
Trickle down therapy. You guys are so welcome for it.
Special thank you to Bookish Wine for sponsoring today's journey through Crescent City. We have new episodes every Wednesday. Join us next week as we talk about chapters 57 through 64.
Make sure you follow us on social media for our latest updates, theories, and more new book goofing. Don't forget to hit subscribe and give us a review wherever you listen. All links are in our info, you giggling gal pals. We will see you next week. I don't know why I just did that.
I don't know why I did this.